Hey everybody, welcome into Universal Beauty and happy Easter to all of you. Weird times, that we're in right now. I think this is like the first time that I've ever spent Easter by myself. Gosh, I guess for those of you that are lucky enough to be quarantined with your family, I hope that you have a new renewed appreciation for that. And for everybody else that's like me, if you're stuck on your own, that's okay too. We'll be doubly appreciative and grateful next year when things are back to normal. Okay, so today I was just going to do a little tutorial for you about natural brows and just grooming them to get your look in place. A lot of times, people forget. Your makeup is probably fine and you've probably put some time and effort into it. And by just doing a little bit of grooming on your brows, you can really elevate that to a much higher level. For myself, I'm very sparse in the inner corner and a little at the top. And I just have a little few ways to sketch that in and set it. And so yeah, if you'd like to know how to do it in a quick and easy way for every day, then just keep on watching. Okay, so as you can see, I have all my makeup in place. I've done everything apart from my brows. And the thing about it is the nice thing about eyebrows is that they respond to like even the most minimal effort. You get kind of a payoff from that. I'm not suggesting that everywhere you go out, everyone is sitting and scrutinizing the symmetry of your eyebrows. They're not. The thing is, you're probably, if you don't do anything, no one will notice. But if you do something, people will notice because it really just kind of, that extra bit of grooming just really elevates your whole thing. And if you're going to spend some time and effort on the rest of your makeup, it can just look so much better by making a little effort with your brows. Many times, I see people that will just kind of do a smudge of a eyebrow pencil, and it's very aging if you just kind of do these weird kind of sketch in lines, because it looks kind of like somebody with shaky hands that can't it's just not a great look. So anyway, today let's just work this out and do like the minimal grooming and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me just do this for you so that you can kind of really see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can see my eyebrows. Let me get a brush so that I can point things out to you. And you can see that I've got like hair sticking up. Some's going this way, some's going that way, and it's very sparse here, and a little here is not too, just very uneven and weird looking. The other thing to always remember is that you have usually one eyebrow that behaves much better than the other one. For me, this one behaves pretty well, but this one I always struggle with. And even just as I'm talking to you now, you'll notice that this one has kind of a nice natural arch where this one more goes straight across. So it's like one up, one down. So the goal for me is to try to get this one to be a little more symmetrical with that one. When you're looking to see, define your brows, like some people will have very sparse in through here and just the tail, and some people lose the tail and they just have this bit here. So, what do we do to fill this and this in? If you put your makeup brush right next to your nose, this is where your brow would start, and take it at an angle outside of your nose, that's where the tail ends. Okay, and same on this side. You see this? This is where the brow starts. This is where the tail ends. And it's just, keeping it alongside of the outside of your eye. And that will show you where to go. Okay, so the first things first, you need a spoolie, which is one of these little tools. It's like a little brush, or circular spiral brush, and you're just going to want to brush your brows out. So I think, now don't mind my mirror is going to kind of pop up in the screen here. Well, I don't really want it to because I'm going to move forward. How about this? And then you're brushing upward strokes, just like this. Everything up and away. More like this, not straight up like that, but just kind of up and away. both brows. And that just kind of shows you what you're working with. Okay, now I can really see that I am way sparse right in here, and along the top here. Okay, so the next thing you have choices. There's pencils, powders, cream gels, and what else? Well, like I'll give you a few examples. Here's one. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Brownie one. And it's got a spoolie on one end, but you see, again, I don't like when the spoolie goes right to the edge of the thing. I like to have a little bit of a neck on mine. Do you see what I'm saying here? Where it's tapered. I prefer that. This is a little fumbly for me. But on the other side is an angled kind of a crayon. You see, sorry about my scar. Never mind that. This is like this. Okay, so these are pretty light because they're kind of the blondie brown ones, but you'll get the idea. Okay, then there's this doll 10 one that I also like quite a bit. Same kind of a thing. It's got that tempered little crayon thing, and then it's got in the middle, this is like a powder, like that's a sponge tip, and there's like powder down in there, and you finish it off after you sketch in, and then at the end, it's got the brush with the gel, the setting gel. So this one, you know, it's kind of great. It's all like a 3-in-1. That's from doll 10. What else? This is Benefit, who I kind of consider Benefit to almost be like an authority on brows. They've got such a wide range of different pencils and concoctions. This one's called Cabrow, and this one I didn't really enjoy this. It's got this brush on one end, and then you open it and there's like a little tiny bottle of product, and so first of all, now you've got 3 fumbly little pieces, and you got to dip into this and then kind of, you know, sketch out with it. I just didn't love this one, so I don't really use this, but anyway, it's maybe for some people that really want very precise control of that, but I think there's better ways. Anyway, that is Cabrow. Another Benefit that I love is this Goof-proof brow pencil. And, you know, I feel like it literally is goof-proof. It's also got a spoolie, a little more tapered, but I still kind of prefer just my tool on my own. And it's also got that slanted pencil there. And this one, you know, same kind of thing, very similar. A lot of them are quite similar. You just sketch in with that. Elf has one that's more like a pen. This one's not flat. It's more like it almost looks like an eyeliner pencil, the way this one goes on. And it has a spoolie on the end too, and again, no neck on the spoolie. So yeah, those to me just now. And then there's this other stuff, this Wonder Brow that I've been telling you guys about, that you just kind of, you paint this on and you wait for it to dry down, and then you comb it through with the, they give you like this short little spoolie. Where are you? Come here. This comes with it, and then, you know, you let that dry down, and then you kind of brush it through. So there's that, and you know, I struggle with that up and down. This is Benefit Gimme Brow, and it's a small little like mascara looking brush that you comb through. I actually do like this one, and I kind of do like to sketch things in, and then sometimes I will like top it off with that, you know, just to comb it through. And Laura Geller has one that's, again, similar. It's this, and you dial this bottom, and then the gel product comes through the bristles, and you can comb that one through as well. That's okay. And again, once it's all set, Anastasia Beverly Hills is kind of the premier clear brow gel that you just comb through to set everything. It's almost like a hair gel for your brows, or like a little hairspray. If that one is too expensive, Drugstore has one that is Brow Stylist Boost and Set by L'Oreal. And these kind of, you know, have the same kind of tiny little brush. There's clear, and there's like a few colors as well. So I think there's like a taupe and maybe one for the more reddish, auburn type hair, that kind of stuff. All right, so anyway, now we've combed through our brows. We see where the flaws are, and just for the sake of being kind of what everyone can afford and do, I'm gonna try with this e.l.f. pencil and just show you what I'm talking about as I mark it in. Now, the mistake I see is people just doing these big slashes and smudges, and then they think they're good to go. I think what you want to do is try to imitate little soft brow strokes as much as you can. Oh, first of all, though, just by combing these, brows, don't you already think that it looks a little better? It's not perfect, and this looks like a weird little tuft hanging out here on its own, but it's so much better than it was, when I first started the video and everything was all janky. Just by combing your brows and grooming them a little, I think it just looks already so much better. That's what I mean, how brows are so nice in that way, that they just respond to the smallest bit of effort. Okay, so I'm taking this brow pencil and I'm gonna start with this inner area, and I'm not going too hard, I'm not pushing down too hard, but I'm just kind of imitating a couple of little brush strokes just to see where I'm at, and then I want to follow along the whole length of my brow. Now, if you're a person that has the tail cut off or the front cut off, you're going to have to just sketch that in lightly, and your idea is that you want to have it thicker at the front and then taper into a tail. Now, some people are, mine, I like to have it in an arch going like a little V. Some people are better with straight across, and some people with just a slight incline. Sometimes if I tried that, I would look continuously surprised. And, you just again, you're after this kind of a more natural thing. So just go with the flow of where your natural line is. No matter if you only have the front, you can kind of figure out where the end would be. And the same, if you've only got the back, you can kind of figure out where to sketch in where the front will be. Just use a light hand because you don't want it looking mad scientist super dark or anything. So just, take that brush or the pencil and just sketch along this bottom line. And I'm barely touching, and I'm just, using hair-like strokes, and I'm going along the top as well to sketch that in. And you can elongate that tail if you want to. Up to you. Like I said, by using the little brush rule, I want to keep it with some kind of symmetry. Anything that starts getting too outlandish is, again, it might work for editorial to make like a cool look, but in real life it doesn't translate so well. So, okay, I am just sketching in these light little sketches. I don't want any super dark color deposited anywhere. I want it all to be okay. And then you would go back to your spoolie and just comb that up, and then you can shape with it too and bring it down like that, up and down. Now you can just see the difference is pretty dramatic here already, but this, it doesn't look out of control. I think it's coming across fairly natural. Now I would set this with my clear setting gel, brow gel, okay. The other thing though too is sometimes, if you're going along, you'll notice that maybe one single eyebrow hair is extra long, and what's it doing? And you could try to comb it in place, but inevitably it sort of springs up and it's a little wily. You can get a pair of these little manicure scissors like this, and they're very precise and you can get right in there. What I would suggest if that happens is you actually take that one piece of hair, pull it outwards, and snip it not close to the root. Just cut the little end off that is springing up, and then it'll it'll comb back into the rest of your hairs, and you know, it'll be blending in just fine. And then the brow gel will set it in place as well. Now I just put that down and I couldn't find it. So here's the brow gel, the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. And I'm just going to, again, using a super light touch, I'm just combing it through. And I'm also shaping with it in that same way. I use the brush, the full brush, to comb upwards to make it look as full as I can. And then I just use the side to bring it down to a sharper tail. And I think it just makes it look more groomed. Now you can really tell this side versus this side, that this one looks so much better. And because, like I said, I spent some time doing the rest of my makeup, it just makes it look a little more elevated, I guess I want to say. Now, again, if I went out with eyes like this, nobody's probably going to notice. But with this, yeah, you notice that looks groomed, that looks good. So that's all I'm saying. But even just combed out looks 10 times better than just waking up and jumping out the door, or worse, I think, is taking a pencil and just smudging some short strokes in there and calling it a day. Okay, so for the other one, let's do the same thing. I'm gonna try to do this at an awkward angle for you because you need to see. And I'm just kind of, again, imitating these little hair-like strokes. I'm gonna come from the bottom and go along the line of my natural brow, top and bottom. Okay, and then I don't know if I can do this like this. I might have to try it left-handed so you can still see. I might end up really blowing this, but okay, and I'm not pushing too hard. I'm just doing enough to lay down some color, and I know I'm a little sparse right in this area, so I'm paying attention to that too. Okay, I think that worked out. Now get my spoolie again and comb it all together. And again, I'm fluffing upwards because I want it to look full, and then I'm slanting down on the side just to pull that tail in a little bit sharper. Okay, and setting it in place with the clear gel. Now this one looks a little darker, so I think, you know what, I might just go a little bit more on the other one. Never one line though. You see what I'm doing? Just these like little tiny strokes, and it's buildable, so we'll get there. That should be good. Now, some people would prefer, you know, being super on point and microbladed and just super cut and precise, and I think that look is beautiful. But for myself, I feel like this is a little more natural, and it just works a little better for me. So you know, you can play around, you can decide what you want to do. Plus, you know, the cost of microblading isn't cheap, but you know, it is a very beautiful look, and it is just super cut and groomed, you know, just beautifully done. But it's a process, you know, you have to keep going back for several appointments before that really sets up. And in the meantime, you know, it's just a matter of where you think you want to spend your dollars for what services. For me, I think if I can just get these groomed nicely enough like this, I'm pretty good to go. So anyway, what I hope your takeaway from this is that, you know, just the slightest bit of effort can really knock your look up just a little notch higher. You spend a lot of time and money putting on your makeup in a certain way, so don't forget your brows. And the payoff is big with the most minimal effort. The idea is to just keep it as natural looking as possible without any hard lines and smears and looking like you've just dragged a crayon through there. Really take a little bit of sketching, and you'll see it'll be much, much better. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, please share, please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one. So until then, sparkle hard, everybody. Bye-bye.